Okay, everybody. Well, I have an update here for you, and I think I might have found the problem with what's going on here. So the guy didn't come today. He had a lot of calls to do today, but when I came home from work, I decided to check over a lot of things. You can hear it is running right now, just because, of course, I hit the switch again. I had to do it a few times this time, believe it or not, and right now it's currently going to zone 2, as you can see. So when I came down here, I read the comments on my video, and thanks a lot all of you guys for leaving me those comments for some suggestions. So I figured, okay, let's check some things here. Emerson Colley did mention the float switch there, but from what I know, the float switch just shuts off the air conditioner itself. It doesn't shut the whole system off. So I'm thinking, okay, so let's look at our situation here. This is flipped on, but nothing is powered, okay? The LED status light is off, the zone dampers were off, everything. And as you know, this was off as well. As you know, one of the things I always tell myself is, keep it simple. So, like, let's start with the simple stuff. So, it got me thinking, okay, this switch is what powers all of this, except the outlet. The outlet's on a separate circuit. This switch powers all this. So I figured I'd take off this panel here, and I followed the wires that go to the disconnect over there. Sorry, it's kind of dark, but that's where it is. And so I said, okay, this white wire goes to the disconnect. One of these black wires goes to the disconnect, and this is the ground wire. So I'm thinking, maybe there's an issue with the disconnect switch itself. So as you can see, I already did this with my dad. I couldn't hold the camera and do this wiring testing at the same time. I have my multimeter here, okay? And I was thinking, okay, the simplest thing to do is let's disconnect these wires. Look for the wires that are going directly to the that are going directly to the disconnect, and let's give it a test. So, like I said, I was hitting the switch a couple of times, nothing came back on. So I knew something was very wrong. Then what I did was, after we disconnected the wires, this one here and this one here, I had the multimeter, up on here, set to alternating current, and I put the leads on the wires, and then my dad hit the switch, and the voltage went to like maybe 5 or 8 volts. Like, let me show you what the display looks like. Came out to maybe, like, it would say 5.8 or something on there, and then slowly go back down to 0. We hit the switch again, maybe 8 volts, and then would drop down again. Then I think maybe the 4th time we hit the switch, then all of a sudden we hit the switch a 4th time or 5th time, and then guess what? This finally read around, like, 121. So if that's the case, I think this disconnect switch might be bad. Now, if that's the case, that's not bad in the sense that, that's a lot cheaper than a control board or something. And I also forgot to say, along with this status light being off and everything else, this transformer, which I think is a 24-volt transformer, this was cold to the touch. So I knew that this was not getting any power whatsoever. And yeah, now it's a little bit warmer. So I knew nothing was getting power. So if nothing's getting power, then I was thinking it was going towards this, because not only that, these wires go from the switch to the board, but also to the transformer. Now, I don't think this is attached to the circuit board, so that got me thinking, okay, if this is off too, let's try the disconnect switch. And I think I found the problem, so I'm definitely going to make some updates to my notes about what I found. I found that the first couple of times we hit the switch, the voltage went to maybe 5 or 8 volts and then back down. And then after a few times of hitting it, then it jumped up to 121. So if that's the problem, that's not bad, because that's a simple fix. One thing I did see here, though, was, you see this transformer? These 2 wires aren't connected to anything, but they were left completely bare. So I was like, oh, that's great. You have bare wires that are live. Very smart. And it's only 24 volts, but still, you don't leave wires bare like that. That was just, whoever did that just wasn't thinking. So yeah, so given what we found, I think the disconnect switch is the problem. And I always tell myself, keep it simple. You know, look at the simple stuff first. To be honest with you, I was kind of, you know, getting ahead of myself on the last video because I was assuming it was the control board because of what was happening. But like I said, I always give my advice. I always give myself advice. Keep it simple. Don't overlook it. And that's what I did. So after doing the voltage test with my dad, that's the problem, I think. And if that's the case, that'd be great. So we'll see what happens. It is currently running. I'm sure at some point it'll power down again. I don't know when, but like I said, it's going to zone 2 right now. And we'll see how it goes. So that's one update video I didn't expect to make, but thankfully it's a good one. And from what I found, could just be a simple problem. So at some point, you guys will get another update. And hopefully it's just that had to be replaced. And if that's it, that's great. And we'll see what happens. Thank you very much for watching, and take care.